I know.
This is from an audience.
Looking off of these, like, could you technically, like, train an AI to, like, just make content for you with your content?
Okay, this is stupid people talking about nothing, wasting time.
This isn't stupid, because I know that they use AI to make fake news stories for, like, a long time, because you'd always find these, like...
Let me help you out there, Danny. Okay, this is called De Somnis. Yeah, sorry, Danny. Like, this is actually like a meditation reading room, and I'm not gonna waste the time listening to Abraham talk about AI, concepts and thoughts. This is De Somnis Vestimenta Horroris. Now then, if in a dream the will be always triumphant, how cometh it that a man may be ridden of the nightmare? And of this the true explanation is that in such a case the will is in danger, having been attacked and wounded or corrupted by the violence of some repression. Thus the consciousness of the will is directed to the sore spot as in pain, and seeketh comfort in an externalization or shew of that antagonism. And because the will is sacred, such dreams excite an ecstasy of frenzy of horror, fear, or disgust. Thus the true will of Oedipus was toward the bed of Jocasta, but the taboo, strong both by inheritance and by environment, was so attached to that will that his dream concerning his destiny was a dream of fear and of abhorrence, his fulfillment thereof a spell to stir up all the subconscious forces of all the people about him, and his realization of the act of madness potent to drive him to self-inflicted blindness and fury-haunted exile. De somnis sequentia. Know firmly, O my son, that the true will cannot err, for it is thine appointed course in heaven, in whose order is perfection. A dream of horror is therefore the most serious of all warnings, for it signifieth that thy will, which is thyself in respect of its motion, is in affliction and danger. Thus thou must instantly seek out the cause of that subconscious conflict and destroy thine enemy utterly by bringing thy conscious vigor as an ally to the true will. If then there be a traitor in that consciousness, how much the more is it necessary for thee to arise and extirpate him before he wholly infect thee with the divided purpose, which is the first breach in that fortress of the soul, whose fall should bring it to the shapeless ruin, whose name is Choronzon. De somnis clavicula. The dream delightful is then a pageant of the fulfillment of the true will, and the nightmare a symbolic battle between it and its assailants in thyself. But there can be only one true will, even as there can be only one proper motion in any body, no matter of how many forces that motion be the resultant. Seek therefore this will, and conjoin with it thy conscious self, for this is that which is written, thou hast no right but to do thy will. Do that, and no other shall say nay. Thou seest, O my son, that all conscious opposition to thy will, whether in ignorance or by obstinacy, or through fear of others, may in the end endanger even thy true self and bring thy star into disaster. And this is the true key to dreams. See that thou be diligent in its use, and unlock therewith the secret chambers of thine heart. Okay, so I'm clipping this all for like 5 minutes. Then I'm just going to go on and then hit the 5-minute button again. De via per imperium, concerning thy traveling in the body of light, or astral journeys and visions so called, do thou lay this wisdom to thine heart. O my son, that in this practice, whether things seen and heard be truth and reality, or whether they be phantoms in the mind, abideth the supreme magical value, namely, whereas the direction of such journeys is consciously willed, determined by reason, and also unconsciously willed by the true self, since without it no invocation were possible. We have here a cooperation or alliance between the inner and the outer self, and thus an accomplishment at least partial of the great work. And therefore is confusion or terror in any such practice an error, fearful indeed, bringing about obsession, which is a temporary, or even it may be a permanent division of the personality, or insanity, and therefore a defeat, most fatal and pernicious, a surrender of the soul to Choronzon. De Cultu. Now, O my son, that thou mayst be well guarded against thy ghostly enemies, do thou work constantly by the means prescribed in our holy books. Neglect never the fourfold adorations of the sun in his four stations, for thereby thou dost affirm thy place in nature and her harmonies. Neglect not the performance of the ritual of the pentagram and the assumption of the form of Horpracrat. Neglect not the daily miracle of the Mass, either by the rite of Gnostic Catholic Church or that of the Phoenix. Neglect not the performance of the Mass of the Holy Ghost, as nature herself prompteth thee. Travel much also in the Empyrean, in thy body of light, seeking ever abodes more fiery and lucid. Finally, exercise constantly the 8 limbs of yoga, and so shalt thou come to the end. De clavicula somniorum. And now concerning meditation, let me disclose unto thee more fully the mystery of the key of dreams and fantasies. Learn first that as the thought of the mind standeth before the soul and hindereth its manifestation in consciousness, so also the gross physical will is the creator of the dreams of common men. And as in meditation thou dost destroy every thought by mating it with its opposite, so must thou cleanse thyself by a full and perfect satisfaction of that bodily will in the way of chastity and holiness, which hath been revealed unto thee in thine initiation. This inner silence of the body being attained, it may be that the true will may speak in true dreams. For it is written that he giveth unto his beloved in sleep. Prepare thyself, therefore, in this way, as a good knight should do. De somno lucido. Now know this also, that at the end of that secret way lieth a garden, wherein is a rest house prepared for thee. For to him whose physical needs of whatsoever kind are not truly satisfied, cometh a physical or lunar sleep appointed to refresh and recreate by cleansing and repose. But on him that is bodily pure the Lord bestoweth a solar or lucid sleep, wherein move images of pure light fashioned by the true will, and this is called by the Kabbalists the sleep of Shiloam, the sleep of Shiloh. And of this doth also Porphyry make mention, and Cicero with many other wise men of old time. Compare, O my son, with this doctrine that which was taught thee in the sanctuary of the Gnosis concerning the death of the righteous, and learn moreover that these are but particular cases of an universal formula. De Venanis. My son, if thou fast while, there shall come unto thee a second state of physiological being, in which is a delight passive and equable, without will, a contentment of weakness, with a feeling of lightness and of purity. And this is because the blood hath absorbed in its need of nutriment all foreign elements. Such also is the case with the mind, which hath not fed itself on thought. Consider the placid and ruminant existence of such persons as read little, are removed from worldly struggle by some sufficient property of small and unexciting value, stably invested, and by age and environment are free from passion. They live according to their own nature without desire, and they oppose no resistance to the operations of time. Such are called happy, And in the way of vegetable life, it is so, for they are free of any poison.